Exotic animals near extinction, now making a comeback. A new breed of tourists seeking the thrill of a lifetime. An up-close and personal encounter with big game. Dedicated game wardens preserving the old with the newest science. They all collide in scenic, sensual South Africa, where eco-tourists come face-to-face with elephants, go eye-to-eye with lions, cheer some pushy rhinos, watch giraffes on the move, and thrill to see the nearly extinct black impala take flight through the savannah. Put down the remote, move closer to your TV, and prepare to be thrilled. The adventure begins now on this edition of Unspoiled Planet. With a population of more than 43 million people, South Africa boasts beauty, pristine beaches, an ever-expanding tourism trade, and modern cities like Cape Town. Not far from the 21st century cities are the primitive, undeveloped ranges where some of the Earth's most fascinating creatures can still be found. While the government maintains vast areas of national parks, there are also many private game parks, some for spectators, some for hunters on safari. As many species are dwindling in numbers, survival for many of South Africa's most fascinating animals is increasingly difficult. However, with its extensive protected areas and strict conservation regimes, South Africa provides hope for many of these threatened animals. Surrounded by magnificent mountains and the unspoiled beaches of the Indian Ocean, the Bottlerskop Private Game Reserve hosts a variety of birds and more than 23 different species of wild animals, including the largest creatures on the planet. Enormous elephants, intimidating rhinos, magnificent zebras, and of course, skyscraping giraffes, all waiting to greet eco-tourists exploring South Africa in search of adventure, big game, and of course, a sense of danger. Standing up to 19 feet tall, giraffes are the world's tallest animal. These long-necked wonders eat from the treetops, usually acacia trees. They also occasionally eat grass and fruits of various trees and shrubs. Giraffes can go for days without drinking water by getting hydration from the leaves they eat. But when thirsty, this incredible animal must spread its front legs apart to lower its head to the ground because its neck is so long. Many people are surprised to learn that despite its long neck, the giraffe has only 7 vertebrae, exactly the same number as man and most other mammals. Notice how the giraffe's front legs appear to be much longer than its hind legs? It's just an illusion. The fact is, the front legs are only slightly longer. Also, notice how the giraffe walks, moving both legs on one side forward at the same time. However, when the giraffe moves faster, its gait changes by simultaneously swinging the hind legs ahead of and outside the front legs. This allows giraffes to reach speeds of 35 miles an hour. They primarily live in Africa, where their populations are stable. Giraffes can weigh up to 3,000 pounds and live to be about 25 years old. They may spend 16 to 20 hours a day eating, but consume only about 65 pounds of foliage. Surprisingly, this large animal can survive on as little as 15 pounds of food per day, which is just an appetizer compared to their heavyweight campmates, the elephant. Elephants, the largest living land mammal, also spend nearly 16 hours a day eating. They grow to about 13,000 pounds and 18 to 21 feet long. They can live in nearly any habitat, providing adequate quantities of food and water, but they prefer areas of plentiful grass. Here, tourists are allowed a personal encounter with these pachyderms. They seem to enjoy the company and the steady supply of snacks they bring with them. The elephant's most remarkable and unique feature is its muscular trunk. With two finger-like structures at its tip, an elephant can use its trunk to reach as high as 23 feet and perform multiple tasks. With its trunk, the elephant can smell things, hold things, signal others, gather food, siphon water, or dig a hole. The trunk is capable of performing delicate movements, such as picking berries or caressing a companion, as well as powerful motions capable of tearing down trees or fighting. Classified as an endangered species, there are roughly 500,000 elephants alive today, mostly in Africa. The Bottlerskop Reserve also hosts a variety of fascinating South African wildlife, such as the water-loving antelopes known as waterbucks, the nyala, the beautiful Waterbuck, the blue wildebeest, and the rhinoceros. Up next, watch these giants wrestle horn to horn when Unspoiled Planet continues after these messages. The second largest land mammal next to the elephant is the rhinoceros. They can weigh up to 8,000 pounds and stand as tall as 6 feet. The rhinoceros is known for its highly prized horn. Some species have one horn, others have two. While the rhino horn trade is illegal, they are still popular targets for poachers. The horns are sought after as status symbols, medicinal remedies, and even aphrodisiacs. Growing to lengths up to 5 feet, the rhino's horn is its chief defense weapon. The males mark their territory and will use their horn and their powerful body to defend it. Today, these rhinos seem to need some practice. Like heavyweight champions, these fighters can go horn to horn for hours. There are a few species of rhinos. These are white rhinos. They really aren't white, but derived their name from the African word vite, meaning wide, to describe their large mouth. English settlers misunderstood the word and called them white. White rhinos have terrible eyesight, but a keen sense of smell. The population of white rhinos is currently at about 12,000. Of all the rhinos, these are the least endangered. Lions, the king of the jungle, once dominated the African continent. Today, lions are non-existent in northern Africa, and the number of lions in Central and Western Africa are so low that biologists predict they will not survive in those regions. Lions are primarily nocturnal, meaning they are most active at night. They appear to be surprisingly lazy, often spending up to 20 hours per day resting. They rest to conserve energy, avoid the African heat, and wait for prey. While they rest, African lions tend to socialize, such as sleeping in groups. Today, the lion population in Africa is less than 21,000. While the numbers are declining, they are not considered endangered or threatened. The African lion is particularly known for its most famous feature, its mane. Only male lions have a mane. When the lions are young, the mane is yellow. As the male grows older, the mane darkens until it becomes dark brown. Males typically weigh between 330 and 550 pounds. Females are a bit smaller, weighing between 260 and 400 pounds. These cats are usually 8 to 10 feet long, not including the tail. In the wild, lions live to be 15 to 18 years old. In captivity, they generally live 25 to 30 years. Lions are hunters. Females make most of the kills, with their muscular back legs for pouncing, front legs for attacking prey, and very strong jaws for large prey such as wildebeest, zebra, giraffe, buffalo, and antelope. In the Western Cape region of South Africa, lions were extinct from the 1860s until 1999, when 4 orphaned lions were delivered to the Waterbuck Private Game Reserve. With a tour guide and a 4-wheel drive, game park tourists can venture into the rugged terrain, searching for big game in South Africa's mountain regions, as well as the open savanna areas where zebras are plentiful. Zebras, known for their black stripes, belong to the horse family. Many scientists believe the stripes are not for camouflage purposes, but rather a design to keep it cool in the intense African heat. They exist in large numbers throughout Africa, and in some regions these highly social animals can be found in herds of 10,000. Zebras live to be about 20 years old and can be found in savanna, light woodland, grassland, and open scrub areas. Surviving on a diet of grasses, shrubs, and shoots, it's hard to imagine how they grow to weigh as much as 600 pounds. With its powerful legs, strong hindquarters, and large lungs, zebras can run for long distances, galloping at 35 miles an hour, and even reach speeds of 50 miles per hour for short distances. The zebra's powerful legs are its best defense weapon. A swift kick from these muscular limbs can be fatal to an attacking lion. Another defense mechanism can be observed when 2 zebras stand alongside each other. They will usually face in opposite directions, allowing them to see in all directions and keeping an eye out for predators. 2 species of zebras are now extinct. Fortunately, the species that remain are not endangered. But like most wildlife, they face the threats of diminishing home ranges and decreasing populations. Up next, black impalas, once near extinction, now making a comeback. One of the great success stories in South Africa is the return of the black impala. The Waterbuck Private Game Reserve played a crucial role in rescuing these long-legged wonders from completely disappearing from the planet. In 1991, the number of black impalas had dwindled to near extinction when a male and a female were captured to begin a special breeding program at Waterbuck. Today, after more than 10 years of intensive breeding and a lot of patience, more than 120 black impalas are wandering the hills of Bottlerskap. The black impala is easy to spot, especially for lions, leopards, and other beasts of prey that have black and white vision. Its cousin, the red impala, is harder for its prey to see and has fared better in the fight for survival. Standing only 3 feet tall and weighing up to 135 pounds, impalas live in the grassland and woodland edges where they eat tender young grass shoots in the wet season and herbs and shrubs at other times. These animals adapt quickly to environmental conditions by forming a territorial herd with a dominant male and 50 females when food is plentiful. When food is scarce, the herd will disband, but form new groups and territory when conditions are favorable again. Another South African success story is the survival of the Waterbuck. This beautiful animal is the rarest antelope in Africa. Once teetering on the verge of extinction, the return of the Waterbuck has been inspirational to many conservationists. In the 1830s, extensive hunting and habitat deprivation nearly wiped out these amazing creatures. In 1931, 84 survivors were moved to the Waterbuck National Park, where they were protected and able to multiply. By 1961, the population had grown to 800. Eventually, some of the animals were relocated to other reserves and protected areas. Spreading the population over a larger area protects the species from extinction in the event of a disaster, such as disease or flood. They live in territorial herds and survive on a diet of grasses, similar to a cow. They graze during the day and grow to weigh about 125 pounds and stand about 3 feet tall at the shoulder. Today, the population of Waterbuck is more than 2,000, but the Waterbuck is listed as an endangered species and remains the rarest antelope in South Africa. A more familiar animal to the African wild is the blue wildebeest. Its appearance is a bit odd. The blue wildebeest's head and facial features seem to have characteristics of a buffalo, while its body resembles a horse. These large social creatures have dark stripes on the throat and on the sides. The blue wildebeest lives in groups of 20 to 40 and sometimes in larger herds. Although this big brute appears to be very intimidating and frightening, the blue wildebeest is not aggressive and is not particularly dangerous. When faced with conflict, the wildebeest's typical response is to run. Both males and females grow horns and a black beard of bristly hair, and they have excellent eyesight and hearing. The males are extremely territorial and maintain a range of 2 to 4 acres with a herd of females and their young. The wildebeest lives on a diet of grasses. Males grow to weigh up to 550 pounds. Females are slightly smaller, weighing in at about 400 pounds. Their average lifespan is about 21 years. At one point in the late 1800s, the number of blue wildebeest had dropped to only 600. But today, blue wildebeests are plentiful, existing primarily in game parks and reserves. The waterbuck is also plentiful in these areas. At roughly 500 pounds, they are about the same size as the blue wildebeest. True to their name, waterbuck are especially abundant near water. They also enjoy roaming in the open plains. A member of the antelope family, The Waterbuck's most recognizable characteristic is the white ring around its hindquarters, almost resembling a target. These magnificent horns are only found on the males and are powerful weapons during fights over females. They are social creatures living in small herds of 12 or so, feeding on grasses, reeds, and wild fruits. In the dry season, they like to feed on acacia too. Lions, leopards, and hyenas are the primary predators of the waterbuck, but crocodiles have also been known to take down one of these big animals. In South Africa, the winter months from May to August are the best for viewing game. It is drier then, so many animals will congregate near the water. Plus, the vegetation is not as dense, making it easier to spot wildlife in the brush. When traveling to South Africa, tourists should heed a few precautions to make their trip safe and enjoyable. Medical experts recommend the hepatitis A and B vaccine, as well as a tetanus shot. Most of South Africa is malaria-free, but there are some areas where precautions should be taken. At a game park, it is always wise to go in the company of a tour guide and follow their instructions. The big game of South Africa are waiting to meet you on this unspoiled planet.